Hey guys, welcome back. We have a river that shouldn't exist, and I'm talking about province in Mindanao, and this river literally shouldn't exist. I saw a part of it when we did places that not even the Filipinos know about. We have a full 3 episode series. I'm gonna leave the playlist at the end of the video. But today we're gonna dive in and explore this river that it's so mysterious. And I'm curious, like everything that happened in the Philippines, it's unique. Let's go and check this out.
Deep in the jungles of Mindanao, in a remote corner of Surigao del Sur, there's a river that shouldn't exist. The water is impossibly clear. So clear you can see 60 feet down to the bottom.
60
The color
feet.
shifts from turquoise to sapphire to the deepest indigo blue. And despite decades of attempts, no one has ever found the source. Divers have descended over 200 feet into underwater caves and still haven't reached the bottom. Scientists have poured dye into the water trying to trace where it comes from. The dye vanished. Local legends say the river is guarded by spirits who don't want its secrets revealed. Today, we're exploring the Hinatuan Enchanted River, one of the most mysterious natural wonders in the Philippines. We'll explain the science behind this phenomenon, why the water is so incredibly clear, where it actually comes from, and what makes underwater springs like this so rare. Because this isn't magic, it's something even more fascinating. It's geology. The Hinatuan Enchanted River is located in the municipality of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur province, on the northeastern coast of Mindanao. It's about 30 kilometers inland from the Pacific Ocean. The river itself is relatively short, only about half a kilometer from where it emerges from the ground to where it flows into the Hinatuan Bay. But that short stretch is unlike any other river in the Philippines or anywhere else in the world. The first thing you notice when you see the Enchanted River is the color. It's an otherworldly blue. Not the murky brown or green of most rivers,
Wow.
not even the clear blue of mountain streams. This is a deep, luminous, almost glowing blue that looks like it was photoshopped.
I'm gonna stop for 1 second. Guys, I mean, if you don't, I want to go to the Philippines and visit. The only thing I'm afraid of that I'm not going to want to come back. I said this in a lot of videos because we have other 2 channels. One is dedicated completely to the Philippines. You're gonna find it down below. It's Alex and Reaction Vault. And I saw over there some places, but I don't know if this river over here, it could be like visit. I can go there. I don't know if you can take a bath or something, but it will be amazing. Like I saw so many. You need 3 lives to visit. I guess the whole Philippines and the beauty of that country. It's incredible.
But it's real. And that color is the first clue to understanding what this river actually is. The Enchanted River is fed by an underwater spring. But this isn't a small spring bubbling up from the ground. It's a massive upwelling of water emerging from a deep underwater cave system. The opening to this cave is at the deepest part of the river, about 80 feet down. Beyond that opening, the cave descends even deeper. Divers have explored down to depths exceeding 200 feet, and they still haven't found the bottom.
200.
The cave passages are narrow and dangerous, filled with silt that can be easily disturbed, reducing visibility to 0 in seconds. Several divers have attempted to map the full extent of the cave system. None have succeeded, and at least 1 diver has died trying. So where does the water come from? The answer lies in the geology of the region. Surigao del Sur, like much of the Philippines, sits on a karst limestone landscape. Limestone is a soft sedimentary rock that dissolves when exposed to slightly acidic water. Over millions of years, rainwater seeps through the ground, dissolving the limestone and creating vast networks of underground caves and rivers. These are called aquifers. Water collects in these underground systems and flows through them like rivers beneath the surface. Eventually, this water has to go somewhere. When it finds an opening, it emerges as a spring. The Enchanted River is what's called a karst spring. It's an outlet for a massive underground river system. The water you see flowing into Hinatuan Bay is coming from deep beneath the mountains. It may have fallen as rain dozens of kilometers away, soaked into the ground, traveled through underground passages for months or even years, and finally emerged here. The reason scientists haven't been able to trace the source is because the underground cave system is so vast and complex. The water could be coming from multiple sources, merging in the aquifer and emerging at this one point. But why is the water so clear? Most rivers are murky because they pick up sediment, soil, and organic matter as they flow across the surface. But the Enchanted River doesn't flow across the surface. It flows through solid rock underground. Limestone acts as a natural filter. As the water moves through tiny cracks and pores in the rock, sediment is left behind. By the time the water reaches the spring, it's been filtered for months or years. It's some of the purest fresh water on Earth. That's why you can see so clearly to the bottom. There's almost nothing suspended in the water to scatter light. The deep blue color is caused by the depth and the purity. When light enters clear water, longer wavelengths like red and orange are absorbed first. Blue light penetrates deeper. In very clear, very deep water, only blue light is reflected back to your eyes. The deepest parts of the Enchanted River, where the cave opening is, appear almost black blue because the water is so deep that even blue light is absorbed. Shallower areas appear lighter blue. The result is a gradient from turquoise at the edges to sapphire in the middle to indigo at the deepest point. It's the same optical phenomenon that makes the ocean appear blue, but concentrated in a small river. And it's absolutely stunning. The temperature of the water is another clue to its underground origin. The Enchanted River is cold, much colder than the surrounding air and colder than the ocean nearby. Underground water maintains a relatively constant temperature, usually close to the average annual temperature of the region, which in this part of Mindanao is around 25 to 26 degrees Celsius. But because the water comes from deep underground, it feels noticeably cooler than surface water warmed by the sun. Swimmers often remark on how refreshing and cold the water is, even on hot days.
It will be like amazing.
The volume of water flowing from the spring is enormous. Estimates suggest that millions of liters of water per day surge up from the underground cave. The force of the upwelling is so strong that divers attempting to enter the cave have been pushed back by the current. During the dry season, the flow is relatively steady. But during the rainy season, when the underground aquifer is recharged by rainfall, the flow increases dramatically. The water level rises, and the current becomes even stronger. This variability suggests that the aquifer feeding the spring is dynamic and responsive to rainfall patterns in the mountains. Local legend adds another layer of mystery to the Enchanted River. According to the indigenous Mamanwa people who have lived in the area for generations, the river is protected by spirits called encantos. These spirits are said to be guardians of the river, and they don't take kindly to those who disrespect it. There are stories of swimmers who ventured too deep and were never seen again. Divers who tried to explore the caves and experienced equipment malfunctions or became disoriented. Fishermen who tried to catch the fish in the river and were cursed with bad luck. Whether you believe in encantos or not, the river does have an eerie, almost supernatural quality. The way the light plays on the water, the silence of the jungle surrounding it, the sense that you're looking into an abyss that goes down forever. One of the most famous legends involves the fish. The Enchanted River is home to large schools of fish, including jacks, groupers, and other species. These fish are protected, and feeding them is strictly prohibited. But every day at noon, something unusual happens. A bell rings at the river, signaling feeding time, and the fish swarm to the surface in massive numbers. Some locals believe the fish are summoned by the encantos. The more scientific explanation is that the fish have been conditioned over years to associate the bell with food. Park rangers began the tradition decades ago as a way to manage tourism and protect the fish from being overfed throughout the day. Now the fish respond to the bell like Pavlov's dogs. It's a learned behavior, not a supernatural one. But watching hundreds of fish suddenly appear out of the blue depths is still an astonishing sight. The Enchanted River isn't the only underwater spring in the Philippines, but it's one of the most spectacular.
What's down there?
There are other cenotes and springs scattered across the archipelago, particularly in areas with karst limestone geology. In Sagada, Mountain Province, there's the Sumaguing cave system with underground rivers and pools. In Bohol, there are numerous caves with subterranean rivers. In Siargao, there are tidal pools and cenotes connected to underground aquifers. But the Enchanted River stands out because of its accessibility, its beauty, and the mystery surrounding it. Scientists continue to study the Enchanted River, trying to understand the full extent of the cave system and where the water originates. In recent years, researchers from the University of the Philippines and international cave diving organizations have conducted surveys. They've used sonar to map the underwater cave passages. They've collected water samples to analyze the chemical composition and determine the likely source area. And they've attempted to trace the flow using dye tests. In one experiment, researchers poured fluorescent dye into the water and then monitored coastal springs and rivers to see where the dye would emerge. Surprisingly, the dye never appeared in any of the expected locations. It either dispersed too widely to detect, or the underground system is so complex that the water exits through multiple outlets, or perhaps some of it flows all the way to the ocean through submarine springs.
Man.
The mystery remains unsolved. The environmental importance of the Enchanted River cannot be overstated. It's a window into a vast underground ecosystem. The water emerging from the spring is ancient. It may have been underground for years, filtered through countless tons of limestone. That water is pure, free from most pollutants and pathogens. It's a source of fresh water for downstream communities, and it supports a unique ecosystem both above and below ground. The cave system itself is home to species that have adapted to life in complete darkness. There are blind fish, translucent shrimp, and other creatures that exist only in these hidden aquifers. Protecting the Enchanted River means protecting the entire watershed that feeds it. Deforestation, pollution, and unsustainable agriculture in the surrounding mountains could contaminate the groundwater and destroy this ecosystem
this place has to be
forever.
preserved.
Tourism has brought both benefits and challenges to the Enchanted River. Before it became famous, the river was a local secret, known only to the people of Hinatuan. But in the early 2000s, photos of the river started appearing online. Its unearthly beauty went viral. Tourists began arriving in increasing numbers. Today, the Enchanted River is one of the most visited natural attractions in Mindanao. The local government has developed infrastructure to manage the influx. There's now a small park with amenities, a visitor center, and strict rules to protect the river. Swimming is allowed only in designated areas. No one is permitted to dive into the deep cave without special permission. Littering is strictly prohibited, and the number of visitors is limited to prevent overcrowding. The entrance fee is modest, and the money goes toward maintaining the park and supporting the local community. The residents of Hinatuan have benefited economically from tourism. There are now guest houses, restaurants, and tour operators providing services to visitors. But there's always a tension between making the river accessible and protecting it from damage. Too many visitors can degrade water quality. Sunscreen and other chemicals can pollute the fragile ecosystem. Physical contact with rocks and plants can cause erosion and habitat loss. It's a delicate balance. If you're planning to visit the Enchanted River, here's what you need to know. The river is open to tourists daily, but hours are limited to control the number of visitors. It's best to arrive early in the morning when the light is perfect for photography and before the crowds arrive. The park charges an entrance fee and a separate swimming fee if you want to go into the water. Life jackets are provided and are mandatory for swimmers. The water is deep, and the current near the cave opening is strong. Even experienced swimmers should exercise caution. Diving into the cave is strictly prohibited unless you're part of an authorized research expedition. The caves are extremely dangerous, and several people have died attempting to explore them. The best time to visit is during the dry season, from November to May, when the water is calmest and clearest.
Good to know.
During the rainy season, the river can become swollen and the water less clear due to increased flow from the aquifer. But even in the rainy season, the Enchanted River is beautiful. The surrounding jungle is lush and green, and there are fewer tourists. Photography at the Enchanted River is a challenge and a reward. The color of the water is so vivid that it almost looks fake in photos. Many visitors struggle to capture it accurately. The best photos are taken from above, showing the gradient of blues and the clarity of the water. If you have a drone, this is an ideal location for aerial photography. Underwater photography is also popular, though visibility can be affected by swimmers stirring up sediment. The fish are plentiful and accustomed to people, making them easy subjects. Just remember that flash photography can disturb the ecosystem, so use natural light when possible. Beyond the enchanted river itself, the surrounding area is worth exploring. Hinatuan Bay, where the river flows into the ocean, is a beautiful coastal area with beaches and coral reefs. There are other caves in the region, waterfalls, and hiking trails through the jungle. The town of Hinatuan is small but friendly, with local markets and eateries serving fresh seafood and traditional Mindanaoan cuisine. And if you're traveling through Surigao del Sur, consider visiting other natural attractions like Tinuyan Falls, often called the
So
Niagara
beautiful,
Falls of the
guys.
Philippines, and the coastal town of Bislig with its beautiful bay. The Enchanted River is more than just a beautiful place. It's a reminder of how much we still don't understand about the natural world. We live on a planet where vast underground rivers flow through darkness, hidden from view, where water can travel for years through solid rock and emerge pure and cold and impossibly blue, where ecosystems exist that we've never seen and species thrive that we haven't yet discovered. The Enchanted River is a glimpse into that hidden world, and it's a call to protect it, because once these places are gone, they're gone forever. If the forests that feed the aquifer are cut down, the water flow will change. If the groundwater is polluted, the spring will be contaminated. If the caves are damaged by reckless exploration, the ecosystem will collapse. The Enchanted River has existed for thousands, maybe millions of years, but it can be destroyed in a generation if we're not careful. So if you visit the Enchanted River, treat it with respect. Follow the rules. Don't litter. Don't feed the fish. Don't dive into areas that are off limits. And take a moment to appreciate the miracle you're witnessing. This water has traveled through the heart of a mountain to reach this point. It's ancient, it's pure, and it's one of the most beautiful natural phenomena on Earth. Subscribe to this channel for more explorations of the Philippines' natural wonders, geological mysteries, and hidden treasures.
The original link you can find it down below the channel. Thank you for this video. Guys, I mean, look, I just want to say the first thing. Unfortunately, we humans, like everybody, anyone on the planet, unfortunately, we tend to destroy things. I don't know why. I'm sorry about that. But we should have respect for these amazing places. So I don't know how many of you are watching right now, been there, saw all this beauty, magical beauty with their own eyes. But, you know, I mean, it's good that there are a lot of tourists for the economy, for the everything. But at the same time, I hope, you know, there's not going to be trash in the river or feeding the fish or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, he said at some point, the sun cream, you shouldn't put that when you dive in, you know, put it when you go out and you're not going to dive in anymore. Because these places are magical, are unique in the world. So we should preserve them. I mean, it's incredible. Like this guy said, I mean, it's like Photoshop, AI, but it's real. So in a way, it's better that a lot of places are hidden from us, from the people, you know, because we tend to destroy, like I say. Anyways, I'm curious how many of you saw this. When I'm gonna visit the Philippines, I can't wait to go there. I guess it's gonna be magical. I mean, it is in a screen. Being there, I guess it's gonna be mind-blowing. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to on Alex and channel Vault if you like the Philippines and you want to know more. We have a lot of videos over there. And here, like I was saying, you're gonna be vlogs with me. In a couple of months, I'm gonna like transfer in the beautiful Sicily, so you're gonna see that as well, and a lot of other videos with amazing hidden places of the Philippines and of the world. Thank you for watching. Like I always say, stay safe.